So, just a little update. So, I've been through a lot in these past 2 weeks. I mean, the shit that I've been through is like actually like insane. But, I always come out on top. You know, I'm very sensitive to energy. I feel little shifts. And with everything that I've been going through, I had a really big shift lately and I can feel it. And the shift came with a totally new mindset where I'm in a complete reset. I went through my shedding period, which I talked about not too long ago. And now I'm in my restart period. So it's kind of the same to like I'm no longer taking the shit off of me that I need to take off of me. It's off, right? I did the inner work. I did what I needed to do. And now I'm stepping into this whole new era. And it's giving me a totally different perspective than what I once had. And now I'm left with the question, without that perspective, who am I? What do I stand for? And how do I walk in this new version of myself as authentically as possible? I don't even got my glasses on and I'm just doing the motion to push up my glasses. Are you kidding me? But for example, like I've been making music for a while now. I only got 2 songs out right now, but I've been making music for a while. And one conclusion that I came to after releasing a lot of the stuff that I released and doing a lot of the inner work was that I don't want my creativity to be stunted by things from my past, people from my past, pain and trauma from my past, especially if I know that I've moved on and I've healed way past that. I don't want to create music from that space because I think that's what will sell, or that's the space where I feel like I should be in to be able to resonate with people, right? Like for example, like I was in this relationship and like it just wasn't healthy. At the end of it, he basically like treated me like garbage because I had gotten like really, really sick. And at the time his career was blowing up. And basically he felt like, I don't want to be around a sick girl anymore. It's too much of emotional baggage and my life is going so great. Her life is going so trash. Obviously she's the problem. I'm gonna just leave her where she's sick at, essentially. And of course, like a lot of stuff happened in between there. Like I was like, hey, like I'm really sick. Like you're like my best friend. Can I just like talk to you every now and then? Because at the time we went together. It just wasn't healthy for us to be together. But like, he was like in and out of my life. And then whenever he would check in on me, he would always talk to me crazy. He always found a way to like put me down. During a time where I was literally so chronically ill that doctors were in my face just like screaming worst case scenario. You can watch the video that I made on that about what exactly the illness was and stuff like that. But that shit left me like really defeated. And in order to keep his image, in order to keep the spotlight that he had just got like some clout off of, he basically had to create a reason why he didn't fuck with me anymore because I just disappeared, right? At the time, I didn't want anyone to know that I was sick. I kept it on the down low. I wasn't on social media. Around the time that I was starting to get better with the illness, I decided to re-download social media. Mind you, I'm on the phone with him and he's talking about, oh, like you're going to get better one day, blah, blah, blah. As he's saying that, at the exact moment, I see a TikTok that he made dissing me. And mad people in the comments like laughing and agreeing. And it was a very twisted and warped perception of who I was. And I was like, hey, I just re-downloaded this app and I seen what you posted. Why would you post that about me? And he was like, oh, I was just doing it to heal or whatever. I'm like, okay. But at that time, I felt like, he was all I had. So like I dealt with it. And eventually it just got to a point where it was so toxic and I was so sick and he was just so evil, so nasty to me, that I was just like, you know what? I would rather die alone and to have you by my side. Like, I don't appreciate the way that you treat me. I just want not to talk to you anymore. I don't want you in my life. And he was like, you know what? I'm proud of you for choosing yourself, blah, blah, blah. Not too long after that, he was dissing me hard as fuck. As soon as I cut him out of my energy, he starts spazzing, like dissing me in every song he's making, bringing me up at every point in turn. It was just very weird. especially because like I had released him with love. Like I understood that it just wasn't working out. I understood the position that I was in. I understood that he felt like his career needed more of his attention and that I was bringing down his career in some way. So I'm like, if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. And then as soon as I cut him out of my life, that's when I started to get better, which was crazy. And when I started to get better after all of the hell that I had went through, and all of the songs where he had dissed me in, all I wanted to do was just give my past self a voice that she didn't have. And I feel like ever since I got healthy again and I started making music, I've just been creating from that space of my past self deserves the chance to speak her truth. Because to get slandered in the way I got slandered on such a massive level, that does something to your psyche for sure. And all I wanted was to, for one, heal and to give my past self the chance to speak her truth. And I've done that. I've done that now with 2 songs. But now I'm starting to realize that almost all of my songs is just exposing him for the shitty person that he is. And with everything that I've released and all of the shadow work that I've done during my shadow period, I just realized how amazing I am and worthy I am, and how I am way bigger than the trauma that he gave me, especially if I have done so much work to heal from it. I am not going to continue to create from that space, especially when I am very much so aware that his life, since doing me wrong, is not on the up and up. It is not going the way he wanted it to go. Compared to where his career was when he had cut me off and he felt like he was way better without me because his career was just like, he got a little clout. Compared to where that was to now, it's not the same type of vibe anymore. Karma beat his ass. God beat his ass. My ancestors whooped that motherfucker's ass and is still whooping his ass. Now, mind you, I said that I started to get better shortly after I cut him out of my life. I would say I cut him off in August. I started to see a real change in that chronic illness that I was battling in like November. I was able to speak again, get a job, eat more foods, maybe like 4 or 5 months after that. Mind you, the whole time I was mentally and emotionally stuck on him. I was fighting for my life for those 2 years. It was almost like the fact that I had that emotional tie to him, that mental tie to him, and that love in my heart for him where I still wanted to be with this monster. It was almost like that was a part of what was keeping me sick. But that's what happens when you're around the wrong people. But having gone through all that, having been able to now put out 2 songs where my past self gets to speak her piece, I'm recognizing that even though I have so many other songs that I could put out in regards to the situation, that's not where my heart is. That's not where my value is. I recognize that I don't want to create from a space like that anymore. Unless it's like something that like happened really recently that I haven't healed from yet. And I feel like creating a song about it will be a great way to release it. I've done the inner work. I've went through multiple shedding periods. This wasn't the only one, but it was the most deeply rooted one where I was able to really sit with myself and figure out what was I going to let control and maneuver the trajectory of my life. Was I going to create from a place of pain and stay on that low ass vibration? Or was I finally going to accept myself for all that I've always been and step into what I've been called to do? And I'm choosing to step into what I have called to do. Even though that nigga did some really fucked up shit, I don't harbor no ill will in my heart towards him. That nigga has done everything under the sun to make sure that I live a miserable life. And he's failed. And he's continuing to fail. And even with all that, I don't harbor no ill will in my heart towards that nigga, because that nigga has been fighting demons since before I met him. And as a young woman, I thought that I could heal him in a way, I guess. Whole time, I can't be the peace for all your demons while you trying to kill me. And that's when I finally decided to walk away. And it sucks that it took me almost dying to get that message and to understand where my value lies. Like, I found my value while I was sick as fuck. This nigga was treating me wrong, and I dead ass said, like, hey, yo, I'd rather die with no one by my side than to have you. That's how terrible of a person he was, how nasty he would talk to me. There was a lot of like reactive abuse involved just to try to make me look crazy. Like, see, look at her, she's spazzing. The whole time they had no idea what was going on behind closed doors, bro. But I had gotten this download to start automatic writing and to just let whatever I need to get flow and to not judge myself nor think too much about it. And with every conclusion that I've came to, I basically just wanted to read it out to you guys. It was an answer that I've been looking for a while, which I'm very grateful for. And I've been putting off automatic writing for a while too. And I'm glad that I finally picked up that pen and decided to just let whatever come to me come. Whatever is divine and what is meant for me come. Mind you, like, this person, a lot of the knowledge that I gave them, a lot of the sauce that I gave them, a lot of their perspectives on lives, a lot of what their mask consists of is stuff that I've taught them. Like, a lot of girls will talk about how, like, their exes, like, stole their personality for, like, another girl. Whole time, that dude stole my personality and presented it to the world. And it's very weird. But either way, with all of that in mind, because that is relative to what I ended up automatically writing, and I wanted to share it with you guys, mainly with myself, but I got this right here. I just did this. It says, stop thinking about the past, ain't no life in it. You carry codes from the stars, you got the best sentence. Love the way your body move like a snake in the summertime, demonized by design, but you know that you're divine. You were shattered by nature, that's what you're born to do. To discover the part of nature that's sacred is also a part of you. And when it comes to yin and yang, baby, you ain't gotta choose. You'll lose your mind picking sides when the truth is behind the truth, and that's the real you. That's the real you. And it's still true. They can't fuck with you because you the real you, so step in. They can't fuck with you because you the real you, so step in your power and watch the mask fall and those who see the truth. You were always the real you. They can have the recipe, but the flavor's in your bones. Don't run away from your light when to your surprise, that's your throne. And that's the truth. That's the real you. Don't deny the truth. That's the real you. And basically what I got from that, mind you, like, when you are automatic writing, you're not necessarily thinking, not even necessarily, you're not thinking from a conscious place, you're thinking from a higher place, you know. It's almost like a direct connection, like, to God, to be able to, like, discern certain things and to understand more about yourself. And what I got from what I automatically wrote was, for one, the first line is, stop thinking about the past, ain't no truth in it. Or ain't no life in it. I'm sorry. Stop thinking about the past, ain't no life in it. So basically, like, that was just like, you know, confirmation that me going to the past and making and creating shit off of what happened so long ago, when I know that I have truly 100% done the work to heal and move past that shit. Still trying to create from that place. Ain't no life there. Ain't nothing that's fruitful gonna come from that. That's what I got from that first line. And then it says, you carry codes from the stars, you got the best sentence, which basically says, what I discern from that is that I have everything that I need, and it's all within me. It's something that cannot be tangible. It is not something that can be copied. It is not something that can be replicated, and that is your superpower. Love the way your body move like a snake in the summertime, demonized by design, but you know that you're divine. I got a couple things from that. First of all, snakes in a lot of ancient cultures represent the divine feminine. It represents transformation. It represents sacred divine feminine energy. But yet in so many other, like, what's the word I'm looking for? mainstream cultures, mainstream religions, snakes have been demonized. And that's basically like the story of my life, because that guy, and a lot of people throughout my life, you know, because projection and the way that you perceive reality, like that's technically your truth or whatever, even though it may not be the actual truth, like that be their truth, because that's how they're perceiving it, even if it's not correct. So in that way, I do relate to snakes, and especially in regards to like shedding and transforming and just being like this really sacred animal that just moves with like a very smooth, in a smooth divine nature. You know, what else? You a shedder by nature. That's what you're born to do. To discover the part of nature that is sacred is also a part of you. So starting with that last line, discovering the part of nature that's sacred is also a part of you. There's nothing that God is separate from. God is within nature. God is within you. God is within everyone and everything. There is nothing that is separate from God, because God made everything, right? Therefore, recognizing that oneness, it allows you a certain type of inner peace. And it allows you to sit with a power that has always been inside of you, which is God, right? You a shedder by nature. That's what you were born to do. Like, I've gone through a lot of phases in my life. I've definitely been through a lot of harsh transformations. Like having to leave school, quitting dance to take care of my grandmother when she had cancer, and just spend like those last few months with her, and then never really getting back into it until life hit me with that chronic illness, and I decided I'm gonna do every fucking thing that I've ever stopped myself due to limiting beliefs from doing. A lot of rough transformations, but they've all aided into who I am now, and it was needed, and it's what I was born to do. Doing the shadow work, doing the inner work, doing the therapy, the journaling, whatever it may be, doing the healing to break generational curses, to be the black sheep, but to also be the black sheep that the curses end with, the generational curses end with. That comes with a lot of shedding. That comes with a lot of limiting beliefs that you got to let go of, habits, patterns, that you have to let go of, and be willing to do the inner work to be able to let them go, because it's a lot of them are very deeply rooted in a lot of people's bloodlines. You know, sometimes it comes in the form of alcoholism. Sometimes it comes in the form of women marrying abusive men. Sometimes it comes in the form of women in the bloodline feeling like they can fix certain men who are honestly like just like walking devils, like there's no saving them. Like, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, we wrestle with the spirit, you know. And recognizing those as the generational curses, as the spiritual warfare, and doing the inner work so that shit like that does not attract you, so that it can stop with you. That's what I got from that last line. And I also broke that, you know, by being sick as fuck and then still choosing to like kick that nigga to the curb. When it comes to yin and yang, baby, you ain't gotta choose. You'll lose your mind picking sides when the truth is behind the truth, and the truth is you. What I got from that was basically, because like I've been going through this whole thing where it's like I have a lot of divine knowledge. I have a lot of things to give to the world. I have so many aspects of me that are so multifaceted, but are still like very valid. And in regards to my music, I've always had a rough time with picking sides, even though I am completely aware of duality. Like, I've been practicing duality in every aspect of my life. But when it comes to this, it's like I don't want to be put in a certain box so bad, especially with me being like very like spiritually aware, that I just chose to like shun it completely. Whole time I've been very spiritually in tune and connected and gifted since I was a child. And if I were to completely like shun that part off of me in my music, I would be actively and directly shunning away a deeply rooted part of myself that makes me who I am. Therefore, that's not being as authentic as possible. That's technically putting on a mask, which is what I've been fighting to not do anymore in any aspect, like at all. So yeah, let me see where I was at. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so basically what I get from that is like I can find a balance between the two and they both still be very valid. I feel like people who are multifaceted and people who are like single faceted, whatever you call it, like they will try to make you feel bad because they feel like because you have so many different gifts and you have so many different avenues where you thrive that you literally don't know what you're doing and you have no sense of direction. Whole time, people who only have one gift need to stay out of people who are multifaceted business. I was given all of these gifts and I deserve to share them wholeheartedly. I don't deserve to hide any part of myself. For who? For what? And just recognizing and honoring the divinity within every aspect of myself and not feeling like I have to hide or water down any aspect of myself or who I've always been to fit the mold of other people, because then I won't find the people who are most aligned with me. I'll find motherfuckers who are very comfy with a watered down version of me, and that's like putting myself right back into a cage, and that's not what I'm ever going to do again. It's still true. They can't fuck with you because you the real you. So step into your power, watch the mask fall, and those will see the truth. You are always the real you. They can have the recipe, but the flavor is in your bones. Don't run from your light when, to your surprise, that's your throne. That's really just like what I just said. Like, you know, being your authentic self makes you a magnet for those who are supposed to be in your life. And if you are not being your most authentic self, you will not find the people who will resonate with your soul and will make you feel at home, because how are they supposed to find you? And not only that, those who have came against you, those who have stolen like parts of your personality for their own gain, when you fully step into your power, mind you, they can only do that when you're not fully stepping into your own power and shining your light at its fullest capacity. So when you finally decide to do that without fear, that is when people's masks will fall, because they can no longer keep up what you authentically are. People can only put up a front and pretend to be somebody that they're not, but for so long, especially when someone who really is that comes along, you'll be able to easily spot the real from the fake. So you don't have to worry about creating music that tells your side of the story, when you can just be who the fuck you are and the real is going to expose themselves. That's what I got from that. And it's crazy how much my automatic writing resonated with me, because literally with automatic writing, you don't think. You do not think with your logical brain. You literally just write. You don't think about what you're writing. You just write. You pray and then you write. You meditate a little bit before, like meditation, it could be a form of prayer. What I did was meditate, and I said in my mind a little prayer, and then I went to write. But I didn't think about what I was writing. And I just think it's so crazy how amazing it is that I was able to resonate with every single word on this page, and I'm able to decipher and decode every word of this page and relate it to some part of my life. You got they can have a recipe, but the flavor is in your bones. That's the thing. People can put on whatever front that they want to put on, but at the end of the day, it's like people gonna know. If McDonald's decided to make jambalaya one day and say, oh, we created this shit, and then you go to somewhere like Cafe Bourbon Street in Atlanta, if you ever been there, like where they make real New Orleans cooking, you gonna know what is authentic and what is not, because the recipe is in you, not on you. They can have the recipe, but guess what? That flavor you can't get nowhere else. It's in your bones. They can't have it, you know? But you can only truly have it for yourself if you don't shy away from it at any capacity, and that's what I'm learning. And what else? Don't run from your own light when, to your surprise, that's your throne. I think that kind of speaks for itself considering what I just said. Don't deny the truth. That's the real you. And I really needed to hear that. And this is a brand new book that I got from my Lyra instructor, and it has the tree of life on it. If you know, you know. You're not going to have a beautiful, strong tree if you don't work on your roots, if you don't work on your healing, your foundation, to be able to grow and thrive into this beautiful, nice tree right here. And the blue also represents the throat chakra, which is all that I'm about. I'm all about self-expression, and it also stands for authenticity as well. So I just thought this book was like a really aligned gift for me to have. But I just wanted to share what I found out, like, post shedding period, and I'm really excited to like step into this new version of myself and to see what I come up with next, because after I came to that conclusion, I was like, damn, I got all these songs and I don't even want to release them no more, because that's not where my heart is. And I'm recognizing, to be able to get to where I want to go and to be able to attract the blessings and the soul family that is my own, I have to operate from my heart space. I cannot always think from a place of logic, because the type of things that I want in this life are not completely logical, quote unquote. I would have to operate from a heart space led place, you know? So I'm really glad that I did a lot of like heart-centered healing work through like journaling, through meditations, through really like just diving deep in deeply rooted traumas, like even like before me that I may have inherited, like from my bloodline, like all that stuff, doing the really deep inner work to be able to show up as my most authentic self, bro. I'm so grateful. And even though I don't really know where I'm gonna go from this point, it's like logically, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is I'm gonna do? But in my heart space, I feel nothing but excitement. I feel nothing but anticipation. I feel nothing but just ready for the journey. And I'm going to listen to that over everything, bro. So I'm still going to do the work to like promote Selfish. Go stream Selfish if you haven't already. But I'm going to find a way to balance both aspects of myself in a way that is most authentic to me, in a way that feels right for my spirit, in a way where I know that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I know I'm supposed to be doing. Because that inner knowing, that's God. See y'all later.